Welcome to my channel. My name is Kat and I'm here to talk about books. It was recommended by a few friends that I start up this channel, and even though I feel super admittedly awkward doing this, I thought, why not? Today we're going to talk about my top reads from 2024. I read a lot of books last year. I believe it was 68 books that I read. And so I decided to compile my top 10 from 2024 with some honorable mentions. I might also discuss some of the books I'm looking forward to reading this year. So buckle on in, grab yourself a cozy drink, and let's do this. I got my cozy drink. I'm going to start with the honorable mentions first, beginning with A Study in Drowning by Reid, which was totally atmospheric. It was beautiful. The two main characters were so gentle and I loved it, and I'm so excited to continue with it with the next release that is coming out, I believe, in August of this year. The Empyrean series. I read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I don't even think I read them. I devoured them. Some might call it borderline unhealthy with how fast I ate these up. I had such a blast. As you can see, I have a bookmark in here because I am currently reading this with my partner Danny, and I am so excited for Onyx Storm's release this month. So yeah, this honorable mention, Fourth Wing, dragons, fantasy, amazing. Next up we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. I have had this book on my shelf for quite some time, and I finally picked it up this winter because I wanted a nice atmospheric wintry read, and I fell in love. It absolutely swept me away. It's a fantasy series based in the Russian wilderness, and that's all I'm going to say. The next two books in the series are on my TBR list for this winter, so I'm very excited to continue with the story. Next we have The Sunbearer Trials by Aiden Thomas. This is such a fun time. Feels like Percy Jackson somewhat, and I just had a blast. I love Percy Jackson books, and when I heard this being compared to it, I figured to give it a go, and I was pleasantly pleased by how much I enjoyed this book. And I'm excited to read Celestial Monsters, which is the second book to it. Okay, so kind of can't believe I'm saying this, but Zodiac Academy. I did not expect to enjoy this series as much as I am when I originally heard about it. Obviously it's not going to be for everyone, and it's not beautiful poetic writing. It's an easy, fun read. It's a fun time. It's a fun fantasy, and yeah, I'm having an absolute blast with this series. And lastly, we have my reread of Harry Potter. This is forever an Infinity Star series for me. It's essentially what got me loving to read when I was little. It's just so special to me. I reread the first three books, but special mention to Prisoner of Azkaban specifically, because Sirius Black, he will forever hold my heart in a clutch. I love him so much. I love the characters. I love the story. I love this series so much. Now, here are my top 10 reads of 2024. Starting with Carissa Broadbent's Daughter of No Worlds. I have the other two books already on my shelf ready to go. I loved this book so much. It is a beautiful fantasy series. I don't want to give much away with any of what I say regarding these books, but we'll just say that there is a warrior, there's an apprenticeship, there's a war, there's a lot of fantastical elements. I don't think I read anything quite like this, and I loved it. I loved this book so much. I'm so excited to continue it. I have a feeling that it is going to break my heart, and that it is going to be a top tier contending series for me in general. So, Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. We have the Letters of Enchantment duology by Rebecca Ross, Enchanted Typewriters, A War, and two, they're not enemies, more so rivals, but regardless. This is beautiful. I love Rebecca Ross's writing so much. I love this story so much. I know I'm in the minority here when it comes to the second book in the duology, Ruthless Vows. I didn't have many problems with it. I know a lot of people took issue with certain things in it, and in all honesty, I understand the issues. I just didn't take issue to it. It broke my heart. I sobbed like a baby. Generally speaking, if a book is going to hit me in my emotional belt, I am going to love that book. So messed up. Anyways, I loved this duology so much, and Iris and Roman are such sweet, sweet, tender souls, and I love them so much, and they need to be protected at all costs. Let's get this out in the open. I have never considered myself a romance reader. I don't like Hallmark movies. I don't like cheesy romance novels. I like cotton candy, but I want depth, not just sugar in my books. And so I'm more of a fantasy reader. I'm more of someone who likes a murder mystery or horror, spooky vibes, some drama if I'm in the right headspace for it. And I do like romantasy as long as there's actual plot. So, imagine my surprise when I picked up this book that I heard so many good things about, and it is now in my number 8 place of favorite books from 2024. Just for the summer. Romance. I loved this book. I loved both characters. Justin is a big green flag of a main male character. I loved that there was depth to it, and I think I found a part of the romance genre that I actually like, and that is real characters that have real problems. And yeah, I loved this book. I was thrown. I was shocked because I really did not think I liked romance. So, you know what? I guess I like this type of romance. You know, the Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry, which, funny enough, I just finished my first Emily Henry book, and I loved it. 5 stars. Anyways, number 8. Just for the summer. Okay. Well, this is the guest star of the show. Willow. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. We are at number 7, and that goes to V.E. Schwab's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is magical realism. It is a book about a girl who makes a deal with a stranger, and she ends up living for hundreds of years, but there's a bit of a curse on her that basically makes her unmemorable. So everyone forgets her. She leaves a room and she's forgotten. And it's about her life. I did not realize that it would be slow, a bit of a slower read, but a beautiful read. And I loved the characters. And I think this book really highlighted the importance of comfort, understanding, love, where you are actually seen and known and to be understood. I don't think it's highlighted quite a lot in books, but someone who knows you, someone who sees you for who you are and loves you. I don't know. I'm a sap. This book made me bawl. This book stayed in my mind. It's still on my mind. Let's be honest here. I highly recommend this book to everyone. It is so well done, so well written, and I definitely do want to check out more of V.E. Schwab's work. We are at number 6. And number 6 goes to Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. Since I was young, I loved a good mystery. I love fantasy worlds and add in a very sassy FMC and MMC. And you've got yourself a party of one on her couch, staying up till 4 a.m. binge reading to figure out what is going on and what happened. I love this book. It was not what I expected after reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. It definitely wasn't what I expected. I loved the characters, I loved the plot, I loved the mystery, I loved the world. I had such a great time with this book. And I will easily reread this book again. Now I'm only referring to book 1. I had a great time with books 2 and 3. They were fun. I love the characters still. I love the world. And I did have fun with the story. But how to say this without giving much away? In the more recent Sarah J. Maas books, I'm just kind of getting tired of there not being actual big consequences to such high stakes. And we'll leave it at that. And also some of the spice just kind of comes out of nowhere for me. And I'm not against spice. I don't have anything against it, but it just... Those 2 books kind of threw me off a bit with that. Still had a great time. Still worth reading. But just not as highly ranked as this. This is a reread for sure. You're so sweet. All right, we are at number 5, and that goes to When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This book was a surprise. I originally read it in paperback form, which I have since given to my mom because the hardcover came out, and I absolutely fell in love with the artwork. Could this book, this fantasy story, be trimmed down? Sure. Did I eat it up regardless? Absolutely. I loved this book. I loved the world building. It was so magical, so beautiful. I loved both the FMC and oh my gosh, the MMC is definitely in my top 10 of favorites of all time. It was so good. I love her take on dragons, moon plumes. I think that the second book, The Ballad of Falling Dragons, is probably my most anticipated release this year. I am so excited for this, and it is my number 5 spot. I love this. I'm so excited to see how this story unfolds. We are at 4th place, and that one goes to The Trilogy by Katy Rose Poole, There Will Come a Darkness. This YA fantasy shook me. I think that Katy Rose Poole did such a great job setting this up, and just a quick idea of what it is. The Age of Darkness approaches, 5 lives stand in its way. Who will stop it or unleash it? So there's 5 perspectives. It is a YA fantasy, and it is so good. I think she set this up, built this world beautifully, and the characters up, and then the second and third ones, oh my gosh. So the entire trilogy is in my 4th spot. I think that this is so underrated. I think it's so well done. I love the characters. Oh my gosh, Jude and Anton and Hector. Oh, I love them. I love all the characters, to be honest. Even the ones that are hard to like. I love them. Anyways, 4th spot, There Will Come a Darkness. All right, 3rd spot goes to a duology by Rachel Gillig, The Shepherd King. I did not know what to expect when I got this. I just jumped aboard the hype train and was very happily pleased by it because it became a favorite of the year. I'm a spooky girly. I love horror. This is not that. So make no mistake, these aren't scary books. It's gothic. It's got a gothic atmosphere. It's got the vibes of October, November. And I ate it up. I love the characters. I love the story. I love the magic system. It's so unique. I love the way she writes. She is going to be an auto-buy author. Her next book that's coming out this year. I've already pre-ordered. I'm so excited for it. Highly recommend this duology. I cannot say anything other than, it's fantastic. I think it's worth it. I think it is worth the hype train. I'm glad I boarded. Number 3. Need my go-go juice. Alright guys, we are at the second spot, and that goes to another series. The Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater. I think that's how you pronounce her name. This contemporary fantasy blew my socks off. It's so good. I've never read anything like this, and I probably never will. It is twisty, it is magical, it is mysterious, it's funny, it's poetic and poignant and romantic and sweet, and I love the found family in this. I wish I had a group of friends like this when I was in high school. I loved every single character in this. They're all so beautifully different and wonderful. There's another spin-off series that is based on one of the characters, or follows one of the characters from this, that I am very excited to read at some point. But yeah, I love this. Everyone should read this. This is so cool. This is such a cool series. And I love her writing. Number 2. All right. If you've been following me on Instagram, and well, I guess you probably know what number 1 is going to be. But if not, the number 1 spot goes to yet another series. And that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. So story time. When I was young and I first read the Harry Potter series, I was like, oh my gosh, this series feels like home. I will never find another book series like this again, one that touches my heart, touches my soul, feels like a infinity read forever. I realized that getting older, more mature, and evolving would mean that I would have more experiences to read books that are Infinity Star reads, are soul-hitting reads, are books that feel like home. And Throne of Glass checks all those boxes. I love the characters. I love the characters so much. And yes, I'm a Kale stan forever. I think his evolution is amazing. His and Selena's are my favorite character evolutions in the series. And that's not to say that Dorian's isn't amazing too. I think every single character in this is brilliant. I love them all. I love the story. I love how well thought out it is, how the interconnectedness. I love the start and the friendship between Selena, Kale, and Dorian. Oh, they are forever imprinted in my heart. Another trio, much like Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Well, Selena, Kale, and Dorian, they imprinted themselves on my heart. But then add on into the alliances and the final book, and everything coming together. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, to be honest, and emotional. I loved this book so much. This was sitting on my bookshelf for years and years, and I never picked it up. I don't know why, I just didn't. I finally did. I'm so glad I did. I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, I could have read this a long time ago. So, PSA, in case that anyone needs the motivation, pick up the books on your shelves and give them a try. You never know if you're going to find yourself a book that feels like home. I love all the characters. My gosh, Selena, Kale, Dorian, Lorcan, Manon, Abraxas, Asterin. I just adore this series so much. And I finished it, finished Kingdom of Ash, was a sobbing mess. You may notice a pattern here. I tend to cry a lot in books that I love. Yeah, I'm emotional. Anyways, I finished Kingdom of Ash, was a mess, wiped my tears, half hour later, went to my partner Danny and was like, I know you're not a reader, but can I please read this series to you? I need someone to talk to about it desperately. And he said yes. And he loved it, so yay. And it started a new thing where we read books together, which is fun. But Throne of Glass, Infinity Star, feels like home book. Oh my gosh, it changed my life for the better. And I will reread it many times, I'm sure. Number 1. In case you missed the Easter egg, that is my shirt. Totally giving away the ending, which is that Throne of Glass was my favorite series. I got it from the Common Room shop. Her channel is absolute sunshine and I love her clothes. Yeah. Comment below what your favorite books of 2024 were, as well as what you're looking forward to reading this year. My TBR list for 2025 is huge. Well, let's be honest. I think most people's are. I am so excited to check out Brandon Sanderson's work, Mistborn series and Skyward, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I'm looking forward to the Plated Prisoners series and checking that out, as well as A River Enchanted, The Poppy War, and Ember in the Ashes, Frederick Bachman's work. So really looking forward to completing series such as War of Lost Hearts, Winter Night, Zodiac Academy, and my reread of Harry Potter. I'm also really looking forward to reading more from Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry. I just finished Funny Story the other day. So easy 5-star read. First book of 2025. So happy. I have a feeling it will be a top 10 for this year. Love Miles. Oh my gosh, I love Miles. Yeah, such a delightful book, and I'm so excited for the other books by Emily Henry. And there's a bunch of releases this year, honestly, that I'm really excited for. I'm also looking to pick up books that are on my shelves already that I've had within the last few years. So like The Priory of the Orange Tree, Shining Girls, The Last Magician, which I got so long ago too. Anyways, I'm really excited to see where this year is going to take me on my reading journey. Thank you for listening, and if you made it to the very end of this video, sweet. I look forward to seeing you again, and we'll see you around soon.